Hey, this is Drei, and welcome to the Coffee Breakers Club podcast. This is episode 37 of this podcast, and thank you for joining me. Today, let's talk about Kobe Bryant. So before starting, I would like to greet everyone ng Happy Mamba Day. Kasi today is August 24, so 8 and 24, right? So ito yung mga jersey numbers ni Kobe while playing in the NBA. So that is why it is Mamba Day. Mamba being his nickname naman. And I would like to dedicate this episode to him, to celebrate his life and his legacy. So para sa mga hindi nakakakilala sino si Kobe, ibigay ko lang yung mga stats niya and yung mga accomplishments niya. So Kobe is a 6'6" guard, shooting guard to be exact, for the Los Angeles Lakers. He played from 1996 to 2016 in the NBA, so that is equivalent to 20 years, or 20 seasons. So he is a 5-time NBA champion, a 1-time NBA season MVP, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 18 times All-Star, 4 times All-Star MVP, 2 times scoring champion, and then he was a slam dunk champion. And then he also got 2 Olympic gold medal in 2 separate occasions, and he is also an Oscar winner, for his short film. And saying that I am a fan of his is a bit of an understatement. I am more like a super fan talaga. So I would debate, or defend him sa mga ibang fans with his placement on the greatest of all time list, ganyan. Debate whether he is the best or not, mga ganyan. Saying na someone's better than him, ganyan. So nakikipagdebate talaga ako sa mga ganung bagay. He is one of the few people, that I consider as someone that influenced or inspired me. Na yes, he is a basketball player, but he is more than that, diba? As I've said, he is my idol. Nakilala ko siya since by that time they are on their way para sa second championship nila. So this is around 2000, So I was 10 years old. So doon ko siya nakilala and doon ako naging fan. On why, I think it's more of his dunking capabilities noon. Kaya una ko siya nagustuhan dahil doon. Kasi being a kid, hindi mo pa naman alam talaga kung ano yung nangyayari. But alam mo na kapag dumakdak yung isang manlalaro is sobrang big deal. Diba? And he is a very good dunker. So I liked him. Simple as that. And as time passed by, doon ko nakilala yung game niya. Yung his explosiveness, na he can score from anywhere, anytime. Sobrang exciting niya maglaro. So parang pinapanood mo rin si MJ by that time. So he is my MJ growing up. Since hindi ko nga nakita maglaro si MJ, I was too young to appreciate his game, and I don't think they are actually televised nun. So si Kobe yung kinalakihan kong player, parang ganyan. So his first half of his career, while he is donning the number 8 jersey, yung laro niya is more on above the rim, diba? And then dun mo makikita nga yung explosiveness niya, yung athleticism niya, let's say. So yung focus ng game niya is doing, say, highlights, yung mga dunks, mga acrobatic shots, mga ganyan, diba? And then there is a certain finesse and elegance kapag siya yung dumadakdak, diba? Yung ibang players kasi is more on power dunker. So say si LeBron, ganyan, sino ba? Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, ganyan. Yung parang power talaga yung mga dakdak nila. Kobe, there is power behind them, but mas ma-appreciate mo yung elegance nga. I can't explain it really, pero parang you watch poetry in motion. O, diba? Social. But when he got older or mas nag-develop yung game niya, the second half is more on of his shooting and his footwork, no? So doon na super na-develop yung mga ganun niya. So his signature move is his fadeaway, yung mga pump fakes, tsaka yung mga dream shakes niya. So dito rin mas na-highlight yung pagiging clutch niya, na he is not afraid of the moments, na even in the dying minutes ng game is hindi siya kabado, parang ganyan. And you can count on him in delivering sa mga moments na ganun. He is very clutch. So yeah, when you say Kobe Bryant, kagad mong maiisip is offense. And yeah, that is very true. As I've said, he can score anytime, anywhere. He is a scoring machine, na? Kumbaga, he can score on command. Double team man yan, ganyan. Triple team man yan. He doesn't care. And it doesn't matter. So, he'll score. Now, having said that, there are two stigma behind Kobe's game. Na, the first stigma is he doesn't pass. To the point na ito yung number one meme sa kanya, na Kobe doesn't pass. The second one, not as famous, pero ang dami nagsasabi din na he doesn't defend, no? Now, if we're going to just focus on the numbers and his accolades, madedebunk na kaagad yung dalawang stigma na to. So, unang-una, sabi, hindi daw siya pumapasa. So, ano yung argument dito? Unang-una, he is a shooting guard, no? So, what does a shooting guard do? He shoots, diba? Kaya nga shooting guard eh. So, yung mga prominent players in this position is, syempre, si MJ, Michael Jordan, si Dwayne Wade, at saka si Clyde Drexler. Okay? And then, marami pa namang ibang medyo sikat na shooting guards, pero ito yung tatlong to, yung medyo elite, let's say, elite shooting guards. Now, out of all these three, Kobe has the most assists sa apat na to. So, say, between Kobe, MJ, Drexler, and Wade, si Kobe yung may pinakamataas na assist. And in the shooting guard position, si Kobe yung may pinakamataas na assist. And there you have it, folks, no? Of course, being a shooting guard, hindi nila asahang papasa ka, kaya nga mayroong point guard, right? Pero at the shooting guard position, Kobe has the most assist. So, ibig sabihin, Kobe passes relatively sa position niya. Boom. Now, I was also mind blown sa stat na to. Dati, hindi ko alam ito. It's just, say, 5 years ago, nung nalaman ko na, okay, siya pala yung may pinakamataas na assist sa position niya. You know, just Kobe things. And then the second one is hindi daw siya nagde-defend, no? Hindi daw siya defensive player. He is just offense. Parang ganun. Now, just looking at the numbers, he had 12 defensive team selections. Ibig sabihin, the NBA recognized him as one of the elite defensive player 12 times. Okay? 12 different seasons siyang kasama sa select team na to. So, out of the 20 seasons na naglalaro siya, 12 times doon is napili siya as one of the most or the best defensive players. Okay? Now, to give more emphasis sa stat na to is top 2 siya sa list na to. Okay? He has the second most number of times na naselect siya. Yung player lang na mataas sa kanya is si Duncan, which has 13, no? So, one more than him. Now, looking at this, so gaano ka-significant ito? Okay? So, mas mataas siya kay Scottie Pippen. Okay? Scottie is laging sinasabi na his game is defense, diba? Sobrang elite defender niya. Pero, again, mas maraming times na nakapasok as defensive player si Kobe kaysa sa kanya. Sino pa? Si Gary Payton at saka si Hakeem. So, those three are elite defensive players. Now, kung ganun lang din, ibig sabihin, super elite si Kobe as a defensive player. Hindi lang masyado napapansin kasi nga, magaling siya mag-defense pero mas magaling siya as a offensive player, and yun yung na-highlight. But if you're just going to watch him play, doon mo ma-appreciate yung pagiging defensive player niya. So, I rest my case. And then, syempre, hindi magiging kompleto tong episode na to kung hindi ako mag-share ng mga moments ni Kobe na personally kong nasaksihan. So, unang-una, yung naging laro niya versus Mavericks, no? Mavericks is andun si Nowitzki, tama? Okay. There was a game na kalaban nga nila yung Mavs, and then at the end of the third quarter, Kobe Bryant had 62 points. So that is very massive, no? At the end of the third quarter lang to, he had 62 points. Comparing it to the 61 points total ng Mavs. So ibig sabihin, all the Mavericks players at the end of the third quarter is naka 61 points lang in summation. Versus Kobe na siya lang mag-isa, no? Yung kung kukunin mo lang yung points na had 62 points. So he scored more than the whole team. Alam niyo yun? Diba? Sobrang impressive. Sobrang parang out of this world talaga. So, and at the end of that third quarter, hindi na pumasok ulit si Kobe for the fourth quarter. Hinayaan na lang niya yung laro. Na alam naman natin, or sa mga hindi nakakalam, yung highest scored points ni Kobe is 81 points. Diba? So that's the second most in a single NBA game. Number 1 is 100 points, no, by Wilt. So second best is si Kobe with 81 points. Now, there is an argument na kung naglaro si Kobe ng fourth quarter sa Mavs game na yon, baka mas mataas pa sa 81 yung naging total points niya, which is hindi malayong mangyari. Kasi on this particular game, as in sobrang efficient niya, while dun sa 81 point game niya versus Toronto, parang super impressive, as in so solid din yung performance, pero comparing it side by side, parang mas efficient si Kobe nung Mavs game. So I think, or I believe na kung nilaro niya yung fourth quarter, mas mataas sa 81 yung may score niya. Anyway, that is just one of his most amazing games. And then the second moment is yung Game 7 ng finals between Lakers and Celtics. Now, prior to this finals, ito yung second time na magkakaharap yung Celtics na to at saka yung Lakers. So, they met in the finals 2 seasons prior to this, no? And then, sa finals na yon, natalo ang Lakers. So, next season na nagharap for the finals is Lakers versus Magic ni Dwight Howard. And then, the Magics got their asses kicked no, by the Lakers. So, nag-champion yung Lakers that time. And then, for this particular season, parang revenge ng Lakers sa Celtics. Now, this Celtics team has Garnett, Pierce, and Allen. No, yun yung big three nila. Pero para sa akin, yung best player nila dito si Rondo this time around. So, umabot ng Game 7 yung laro. So, do or die. So, anong nangyari? Since alam kong Game 7 ito, hindi ako pumasok doon sa mga first and second subjects ko nung college. Kasi college ako during this time. So, hindi ako pumasok para mapanood ng live yung laro. Kumbaga, nag-cutting ako, no? And then, yeah, sobrang saya kasi at least napanood ko, and yung larong to sobrang up and down. And then, yung laro ni Kobe sobrang alat. Sobrang inefficient niya this game. Parang sinalba lang siya ng teammates niya, lalo na si Ron. So, at the end, nag-champion pa rin sila. So, nung nag-champion na sila, pumasok na ako kasi tapos na rin naman yung game. So, pumasok na ako ng school. Tapos, sobrang saya kasi most of my peers, no, are Lakers fan din, or at least yung Lakers yung sinusupport for this finals. Pero sobrang hati nun na sobrang dami din na Celtics fans. So ayun, pagpasok sa school, sobrang trash talk, sobrang celebration, ganyan. So kapag alam kong Celtics fan ka, ita-trash talk kita, no? Kumbaga, for that whole day, specifically is sobrang saya. Naman trash talk lang, ganyan, or i-high five yung mga alam mong ka-Lakers mo. Sobrang epic. And then for this next moment is yung Achilles tear na game niya. I don't exactly remember kung live ko siya napanood or yung rerun na lang sa basketball TV. Pero ito yung nila ito yung season na they were supposed to be really really good kasi nasa kanila si Nash and si Dwight. Pero turns out hindi nagmimix ng maayos yung mga players na to. So sobrang disappointing ng season na to. Pero meron pa rin silang chance na pumasok sa playoffs. So Kobe being Kobe, ipipilit niya na makapasok sila sa playoffs kasi yun yung personality niya. Hindi niya hahayaang malaglag lang sila basta-basta. So he is literally carrying this team papuntang playoffs. So parang the last say 5 to 10 games siya lagi yung nagbubuhat no, para manalo sila. Now, for this particular game, kalaban nila is Golden State, na yung Golden State during this time is sila na yung new powerhouse in the West. So, sobrang laking challenge, pero kailangan nila makakuha yung game na to para buhay pa rin yung chance nila in going to the playoffs. And I think kapag nanalo sila dito, kung hindi ako nagkakamala, is pasok na sila. So, ganun ka-importante yung game na to. So, as expected, sobrang effort yung ginagawa ni Kobe. As in, sobrang dalang niyang ilabas. So, parang a few seconds before the end of each quarter lang siya lumalabas. And then, sobrang dami na rin yung mga bumps na tinake. Parang, kapag magdadrive siya sa loob, bigla siyang parang matutumba siya, ganyan. Na sobrang worrying kasi nga he is not the youngest player in the world. So kapag bumagsak siya, parang kabado lahat. Baka ma-injure siya. And then there were a lot of instances, a couple I guess, na parang yun na yun, parang na-injure siya pero tatayo siya. So relief, ganyan. But when he made this move, magdadrive siya, alam ko si Clay yung nagbabantay sa kanya, he suddenly fell down. Now, just watching it, as in parang wala namang ginawa si Clay, he didn't touch him or anything, basta tumumba na lang siya. And then yun na pala, na na yung Achilles niya. Now, Achilles tear, or kapag napunit yung Achilles mo, wala na. Kumbaga, this particular injury had sidelined a lot of players, So one significant is Dominic Wilkins. So nung na-injure siya neto, nung bumalik siya sa NBA, he wasn't the same player. He didn't have the explosiveness that he has. So parang career ending talaga yung ganitong klaseng injury. Now, so according to the doctors, kapag napunit yung Achilles mo, sobrang sakit. If you could imagine. And then hindi ka talaga makakatayo. Now, yung sobrang epic ng moment na to is, una, dinala si Kobe sa tawag doon, backstage, let's call it, But he did it na walang sumusuporta sa kanya. As in, naglakad siyang mag-isa. Siyempre, merong aalalay, pero hindi siya nagpa-wheelchair, hindi siya nagpa-stretcher. Now, nung papunta pa lang sila doon is hindi pa naman sure na Achilles tear lang or Achilles tear nga. Parang nananalangan pa kami na sprain lang or something. But once na na-confirm na Achilles tear nga yun, injury niya, so wala na. So we didn't expect him to come back. Now, there was a foul called on Klay Thompson. Kawawa si Klay nun. Tinawagan siya ng foul dun sa play na yun na akala nga parang tinamaan niya or something. So, may 2 free throws si Kobe. Now, Kobe being Kobe, he powered through that pain. Lumabas siya And pumunta siya sa court na again, naglalakad siya mag-isa with his Achilles gone. Solid. Yung parang a lesser player, no? Would have parang yun nga, nagpa-stretcher or magpapa wheelchair pa yan, diba? So there's a lot of players na nahilo lang, magpapa-stretcher na or wheelchair na. Kobe is a different animal, man. Naglakad siya. And then he sank the 2 free throws that he got, securing the game, let's say. And then sobrang taas na moral ng team dahil doon. And then he went back to the backstage again with no support. So just to show you how dedicated this man is, diba? Yung mentality niya. And then for this final moment is yung last game niya, which I already shared dun sa basketball episode ko. His final game na napanood ko ng live. So someone corrected me na sabi is yung game is weekday nga daw and hindi siya weekend. So paano ko siya napanood ng live kung weekday ito and then may trabaho? So baka nag-leave ako, hindi ko na maaalala. Pero yeah, so much for that. Pero yeah, again, as I've said on that episode, isa to sa mga laro na nagpaiyak sa akin. Just because for the last 3 minutes ng game is sinalba ulit ni Kobe yung laro. And then nanalo pa sila na no one expected them to do. And then on top of that, he got 60 points. So parang sinasabi nila na hindi na daw yun mauulit na someone retiring, scoring 60 points. So until that moment is top, no? So that one is with Kobe sa ngayon. And then we can't talk about Kobe without discussing his mentality or tinatawag nating Mamba mentality. So ano tong Mamba mentality na to? So using simple words siguro is ito yung work ethic niya. Ito yung determination niya, competitive drive niya, and yung drive to be the best player that he can be or the best basketball player that he can. Win as much as he can, getting rings as much as he can. So yun yung Mamba mentality, and he is a notch or a level higher than anyone else. Na sobrang well-recognized or well-commended yung work ethic niya, na to the point na parang psychotic na siya. Na sobrang dedicated talaga niya in practice, in training. So lahat ng yon. And then there's a lot of stories floating around the net, and I encourage you to look into it kasi hindi lang siya applicable sa basketball. It's applicable siya sa lahat ng bagay na if you want to do great on the thing that you do, sobrang magbe-benefit ka if you're going to adopt the Mamba mentality, as I do. Now, he had this drive kasi he was not physically gifted like, say, LeBron, diba? O kaya si Shaq, na yung build nila is sobrang perfect for this type of game. And he did not had the talent that MJ had, na right off the bat, alam mong basketball genius siya. Now, for Kobe, he got to this level because of his work ethic. He trained hard, he perfected his fundamentals, and that made him great enough to be the same sentence as MJ. And I think that is what makes him special. Medyo meron pa siyang relatability factor, no? Na yung message niya is to be the best that you can be is you need to work hard for it. At first, you may not have everything to help you or the tools that you need to be that, pero through hard work, ma-achieve mo. So yun yung pinaka-core message niya that I appreciated, na the very reason why I like the guy. He is the proof that hard work pays off, kumbaga. And that is why he is my personal GOAT. No? So yung greatest of all time. Not just because of his, kasi parang he's just more than a basketball player for me. Parang he taught me indirectly a lot of lessons, and he inspired me so much na I'll forever continue being his fan, kumbaga. And he'll continue being one of the greatest influencer in my life. Yun lang. Rest in peace, Kobe.
I can't, there's no way that I can thank you enough for that. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what can I say? Mamba out.
Hey, this is Drei, and welcome to the Coffee Breakers Club podcast. This is episode 38 of this podcast, and thank you for joining me. Today, let's talk about street food. So, street food, for me at least, is part of a nation's culture and identity. It's a legitimate part of its overall cuisine, let's say. So, it's equally important sa overall food identity ng isang bansa or ng isang lugar at least. So, any food that you can buy and eat in the streets can be considered street food, diba? With some few exemptions din. Parang merong mga exemptions to the rule like mga karinderya, ganyan, diba? Though nasa street sila, you can't actually call them street food. Tama? They are like actually meals than say street foods na medyo pang merienda or a light meal or a snack. Yung pinaka-use ng mga street food, di ba? The reason why we buy and eat them is for those reasons. And sobrang patok, no, ng mga street food sa atin. Kasi sobrang convenient nila and they are really fast to eat. Tama? Parang buy them, eat them. Parang ganon. And they are always available. Laging maaasahan na andyan lang sila. At the same time, sobrang abot kaya. Diba? Parang each of the items sa street food is relatively cheaper than actual meals. Obviously. Tapos masarap and kabusog naman sila. Diba? And they are just plain fun to eat. Diba? Lalo na kung kasama mo yung tropa habang kumakain nito. And here in the Philippines, we have a very wide selection of street food. So, from savory to sweet to fried to grilled, hot, merong cold, etc. etc. Lahat ng flavor profile meron. Tama. So, I actually categorized them into 7 types. And these 7 are fried on a stick, grilled on a stick, fried, simply fried. Magkaiba pa to dun sa fried on a stick. Fresh. 5th is busog-lusog. 6th is sa malamig. And then 7 is nilalako. So, fried on a stick, grilled on a stick, fried, fresh, busog-lusog, sa malamig, and nilalako. Yun yung 7 categories ko. And for each of these categories, meron mga staples. So say, for fried on a stick, ano yung pinaka staple dito is unang-una na dyan yung kwek-kwek, diba? Na sobrang all-time favorite natin to. Itlog ng pugo na merong flour-based coating na for some reason kulay orange siya, diba? May social version nito, ano daw sila? Egg waffles, diba? Quail egg waffles. So, yun yung kwek-kwek. And then, nung napunta ako dito sa Metro Manila, yung mga binibentang kwek-kwek dito, merong yung sauce nila or yung suka nila, laging merong pipino. And you can put as much as pipino as you like. No? Na medyo epic kasi parang bili ka lang ng isang order, which is most of the times is 4 pieces, and then ilagay mo na yung lahat ng pipino kaya mong ubusin. So, sobrang sulit. Mabubusog ka nun. Diba? So, yun yung kwek-kwek. And then, fishball. fishball, kasama na dito syempre yung kikiam, chicken ball, squid ball, tsaka yung hotdog bites, 'di ba? Parang medley, 'di ba? Now, para sa mga to, konting public service announcement lang. So, huwag niyong dayain si Manong. Huwag kayong kuha ng kuha tapos ibibigay nyo 5 pesos lang. Pero yung kinain nyo 20 pesos. Diba? Huwag kayong mandaya. Next one is yung mga calamares. Na sobrang something about yung calamares sa kanto lang. Laging mas masarap yung mga calamares sa streets versus yung mga nabibili natin calamares sa mga restaurant, no? Ba't ganun? Pero yeah, calamares. May kamahalan ng konti yung calamares, diba? Pero sulit naman. And then ito personal favorite ko. Ito yung tinatawag namin dos tres. Dos tres, ito yung mga fried skewered na baga tsaka taba yata ng baka. Tapos piniprito, tapos yung taba kulay red. Yung baga obviously kulay blackish brown. Ganun. Tapos maliliit lang na stick. Tapos tinawag nilang dos tres ito kasi yung baga is 2 or 2 pesos and then yung taba is 3 pesos naman. Di ko sure kung taba talaga yun, pero for the sake of this discussion, taba muna sila. Pero nagmahal na yata sila ngayon kaya hindi na sila dos tres. Pero ako tawag ko pa rin sa kanila dos tres. And then meron tokneneng, ito yung bigger version ng kwek-kwek, diba? Tokneneng. And then yung 1 day old, ito yung pritong sisiw. For 1 day old, hindi pa ako nakakatikim na ito. So yun yung mga fried on a stick. For grilled on a stick, ito obvious naman, ito kung ano-ano sila, yung mga barbecue, diba? So, ang maganda sa grilled on a stick is yung mga pangalan ng mismong mga food items. So, syempre, number 1 na dyan yung isaw, diba? And then from there, sobrang cool na ng mga pangalan like yung chicken feet or yung tawag natin Adidas, yung chicken head, which is yung helmet, and then yung pig's blood ba to? Basta, pero tawag yung Betamax, diba? Tapos meron din syempre mga yung bawa tenga, ganyan, balat, diba, ng baboy, tsaka yung mismong pork barbecue, at tsaka yung grilled na hotdog din. And in my opinion, ito yung the best way to cook up a hotdog, yung grilled, diba? Again, something about it na mas masarap siya kapag grilled, diba? So syempre meron pang iba't ibang klaseng meats dito sa grilled on a stick, pero yun yung mga matunog or mabenta. Now for isaw, ang alam nating isaw or yung mas kilalang isaw is yung grilled, 'di ba? Or yung barbecue na isaw. Pero sa amin sa Pampanga, yung isaw namin doon is fried siya, no? And then it's actually buttered then, meaning meron siyang flour-based coating then, similar sa mga calamares. And mas gusto ko 'yon versus sa grilled na isaw. So, kung napasyal kayo ng Pampanga, try yung hanapin yan. Yung deep fried breaded isaw. Sobrang sarap. And then, the next category is yung fried. Now, niligay ko dito yung mga turon, maruya, diba? And then, for turon, niligay ko na rin dito yung mga pinsan niya. Yung mga savory na pinsan niya, like yung Shanghai, lumpiang toge, tsaka yung dynamite, tsaka yung cheese lumpia. So yung parang lahat ng to parang wrap, diba? Yung parang mga spring roll like na pagkain. And then yun nga, maruya, and then kamote Q and banana Q. Nilagay ko dito, parang you could argue na yung banana Q dapat nasa fried on a stick siya, pero nakaka-OC kasi na andito yung mga sweet na item, so nilagay ko yung banana Q dito. Pero it can be easily put in the fried on a stick category. Gusto ko lang magkasama lagi yung turon tsaka yung banana Q kasi, tsaka yung maruya kasi parang iisa lang naman talaga sila. Diba? And then meron tayong fresh na options. So like yung mangga with bagoong, diba? Pwede rin dito yung singkamas na may bagoong or asin, diba? Pinya, pakwan, tsaka yung santol. And then yung epic sa mga santol dito, sa yung mga nabibili sa kalye, parang nabalatan na sila, diba? Tapos yung meron kang choice kung anong gusto mong condiment. Either bagoong din, yung sweet chili na bagoong, or yung asin na nilagyan ng sobrang daming chili to the point na kulay red na yung rock salt, diba? Tawag ko doon chili sin. Chili sin. And then the fifth category is yung busog-lasog. So dito yung mga yung parang mga light meals tsaka yung mga kakanin, diba? Na kapag kinain mo sobrang nakakabusog, and in a way they are more substantial din. Say mga kalamay, diba? Biko, sapin-sapin, ganyan. Putot kuntsinta. Tapos for the light meals, merong lugaw, diba? Arroz caldo, tsaka yung goto. Ay, alam nyo ba yung difference ng lugaw sa arroz caldo tsaka sa goto? Kung hindi, bigay ko na rin yung information na yung information na to, sinabi lang din sa akin, and it made sense, kaya naniwala ako. I didn't verify this information, so kayo na bahala kung maniniwala din kayo. So yung lugaw, ito yung pinaka simple na wala itong toppings kundi yung bawang, yung spring onions. Tapos kung gusto mong lagyan ng paminta at patis, bahala ka na, pero yun yung pinaka base niya. Tama, lugaw lang talaga. Pwede mong palagyan ng hard-boiled egg, pero that's it. Now for arroz caldo, so meron siyang chicken sa loob, either na shredded or yung bone-in na chicken. Pero yun. And then for goto, yung naman meron siya is mga laman loob, like intestines, ganyan, at kung ano-ano pa. So yun yung difference daw nila. So again, hindi ko sure kung totoo, pero yun yung pinaniniwalaan ko. So aside from lugaw, goto, and arroz caldo, meron din sopas, yung mga pansit, either palabok, gisado, kaya yung mga sotanghon, ganyan, tsaka yung bilo-bilo, diba? So yun yung mga busog-lusog meals natin. So out of all this food, yung 6 categories, yung mga drinks naman or yung mga samalamig, diba? So kailangan mo ng panulak kapag kumakain ka sa kalye. So yung mga mainstay dito, yung buko, melon, sugot gulaman, buko pandan, diba? Pineapple juice, calamansi juice. Sa amin, yung buko tsaka melon, diba? These are 2 separate sa malamig, pero pwede kang mag-request na pagsamahin sila, parang 50-50. Tapos yung tawag namin bukulon. So yeah, pwede nyong itanong kung pwede rin dito or kung saan man kayo, and then try nyo lang yun, bukulon, masarap. And then sinama ko na rin yung halo-halo, yung mais con yelo tsaka yung banana con yelo sa malamig, just because, diba? And then for this last one is ito yung mga nilalako. So ginawa kong category to kasi they are not always there. Kapag nalampasan ka, hindi ka na makakabili, diba? And unlike yung mga una kong nabanggit, is madalas meron silang pwesto or meron din silang cart. Madalas cart naman yung mga to, pero they stay in one place, diba? Pero yung mga to, talagang nagmo-move yung mga to. And then meron silang mga ways to get your attention. They have specific sound or the way the vendor yells its product para alam mong andyan na sila, diba? So ano yung mga to? Yung taho, diba? Pag umaga, binatog, diba? Yung dirty ice cream, kasama na dito yung sherbet. Yung ice scramble, diba? Sa amin, hindi ice scramble yung tawag namin, ice snowball. Ice snowball yung tawag namin. And then paggabi naman, yung balot, diba? Tsaka penoy. So yung mga nilalako na, as I've said, this is a category of their own. Kasi nga, once na nalampasan ka, wala na, di ka na kakabili. So yan lang yung few of our street foods dito sa Pilipinas, and there's a lot more. Pero looking at the list, no, sa internet, ito yung mga widely known, kaya sila yung nilagay ko. And as I've said, lalo sa mga ordinaryong Pilipino, no, sobrang part na to, yung mga pagkain na to ng buhay natin, na if you are in a pinch or kung naiinip ka lang, kain ka lang ng street food, diba? Sobrang saya. Ayun, let's go to our 3-in-1 questions. Una, anong favorite street food mo? Pangalawa, ano-anong mga street food yung wala sa mga nasabi ko pero gustong gusto mo? Or meron ba ako na-miss? Palista naman. And lastly, natry mo na ba yung pritong isaw? Siya nawa, the coffee break is over. Catch you in the next one. Cheers. Hey, this is Drei, and welcome to the Coffee Breakers Club podcast. This is episode 39 of this podcast, and thank you for joining me. Alright, today, let's talk about public elementary schools. So, needless to say, I chose to talk about this kasi I actually attended one and graduated from one of these public elementary schools. And for the school I attended, it's actually sa barangay lang namin mismo. And this is what is cool about these schools kasi I believe, no, at least siguro in the most parts, each barangay has one or should have one to cater the less privileged kids, no, to have their education. So, during my elementary days, wala pa yung K-12. Obviously. So, hanggang grade 6 lang yung elementary noon. And for our particular school, for each grade level, there are only 2 sections. So, 2 sections lang kasi yung baryo namin is maliit lang compared to the other barangays, no? So, konti lang yung mga bata. So, during my elementary days, laging 2 lang yung sections. And then, nalimutan ko na kung paano kami nade-divide kasi yung pag-enroll, yung nanay ko yung gumagawa. So, hindi ko alam kung paano nade-decide kung anong section ka, kung section A or B or something na ganun. Pero from grade 1 to grade 6, laging sila yung mga kaklase ko. So, ayun. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, pero yun. Iisa lang yung mga kaklase ko from grade 1 to grade 6. So, since I didn't attend a private school, no, at least in the elementary level, I can't really compare them, and I'm not planning on comparing them. So, i-discuss ko lang is kung ano yung nangyayari sa mga public schools. So, the first thing na nangyayari, I think first day or at least first week na klase is kukuha ng mga libro yung mga estudyante. Tama. So, for each subject, syempre meron libro dyan. Now, for these books, since nga public ito, hindi namin binibili yung mga libro na to. So, in a way, pinapahiram lang sa amin. So, say, grade 1 ka, diba? And then, ginamit mo yung mga libro na yun. And at the end, ibabalik mo rin yung mga libro na yun para yung next na grade 1 students next school year is sila naman yung gagamit. So, obviously, sa ganitong sistema, bawal sulatan yung mga libro. Tama. Kung merong mga quizzes sa loob or mga homework sa loob, bawal mong sulatan mismo yon kasi meron na siyang sagot. Ganun. So, yun yung pinaka-rule. And then, ito yung exciting dito na part kasi isa-isa kayong tatawagin. And then, magpipick ka ng libro from the pile. So, kung sunwerte ka at una ka natawag, medyo makakapili ka pa ng medyo maayos na libro kasi iba-iba yung condition ng mga libro. Kung yung dating may-ari ng libro mo burara mukha ng basura yung makukuha mo libro. So, kung bandang huli ka na nakakuha, minsan, tagpi-tagpi na yung mga pages, wala ng cover, lukot-lukot na, ganun. So, kung medyo nakauna ka, swerte ka. And then, again, hindi ko rin alam kung paano yung order nung pagtawag sa mga bata, pero hindi siya alphabetical. Kasi kung alphabetical siya, lagi akong una, pero hindi nangyayari yun. So, yun. So, kung minalas ka nga, yun, yung libro mo sobrang pangit na, minsan may missing pages pa, gano'n. So, sobrang lungkot. And then, sa mga mismong classroom namin, kung meron kang ADHD, is hindi ka magsusurvive sa mga classroom na to. Kasi sobrang daming nakasabit. Like, mga posters, charts, pictures, quotes, pictures ng mga presidente, pictures ng mga bayani, listahan ng mga top 10 or yung mga classroom officials and lahat ng yon, no? Tapos sobrang colorful. Sobrang ang dami nakasama. So kung yun nga, madali ka ma-distract, ganyan. Ayun, sure na yun. Very colorful and vibrant yung mga classroom. Sa mga classroom din, to keep it clean, merong mga assigned cleaners na tinatawag namin for each day, no? So, kayo yung bahala or yung mga estudyante yung bahalang maglinis ng mga classroom. Magwalis, mag-mop, diba? Mag-pedar duster, yung ganon. Mag-kus-kus-kus-kus. Pero yung paborito kong ginagawa nun is i-polish gamit ng floor wax. Diba? Yung platform na tinatayuan nung teacher namin pag nagtuturo. So, merong wooden platform sa harap na pinapolish nga namin ng Star Wax Floor Wax, not a sponsor. Or ginagamitan pa namin ng bunot para mas kumintab talaga. So, favorite kong ginagawa yan. Doon nakakahilo yung amoy ng floor wax. Nakaka-high. Nalimutan ko palang banggitin na in the first week ng klase is magbobotohan kung sino yung mga classroom officials, diba? Mga president, ganyan, vice president, sergeant at arms, auditor, may auditor pa. Nalimutan ko na. Pero may muse tsaka escort, diba? Madalang nang akong maboto sa mga ganito or even ma-nominate kasi low-key lang ako, no? Yung pinaka natatandaan ko naging position ko yung sergeant at arms. Di ko alam kung bakit sergeant at arms yung tawag sa position na yun, pero yung trabaho nito is to keep the order ng klase ng mga kaklase mo, which is weird kasi dapat yung may hawak ng position na to is in a way medyo intimidating or charismatic para sundin at paniwalaan siya ng mga klase niya, which is I'm not. I'm a really small kid back then, a slim small kid. So kasama na yung sa trabaho niya yung maglista ng noisy tsaka standing. So meron kang power, diba? Na kapag na-noisy ka, diba? Di ko alam kung ganun din sa iba, pero sobrang big deal kapag na-noisy ka or standing. Kapag elementary ka, diba? Para mapapagalitan ka ng teacher. So, di ko alam kung nangyayari pa to ngayon, pero yung noisy, kapag merong maingay or madaldal sa klase mo, isusulat mo yung pangalan niya sa board, diba? Tapos kapag tuloy-tuloy pa rin siya, pwede mo lagyan ng score. So, lalagyan mo ng 1 kung bawa, madaldal pa rin siya. Tapos kapag nagdaldal ulit siya, pwede mo lagyan ng 2, ganyan, diba? Yung parang stick na scoring. So, sa amin nun, ang nangyayari kapag nasulat yung pangalan mo sa noisy, ang pwede mong gawin is mag-sleep ka or yung magtutulog-tulugan ka. Parang ginawa namin laro, diba? Pag na-noisy ka, parang kunyari, iidlip ka sa upuan mo. Tapos kapag lumipas yung konting time, pwede nang tanggalin yung pangalan mo or yung mga kung marami kang stick score doon, pwedeng binabawasan yon hanggang mawala yung pangalan mo. Parang ganun. As well as sa standing. Ang gawin mo lang is umupo ka sa pwesto mo, Tapos, after some time, pwede niyang bawasan yung score mo until mabura nga yung pangalan mo sa standing. So, ganun. So, pwede ka naman magdaldal, pero bago bumalik yung teacher, kailangan nakaslip ka, nakaupo ka, and whatnot. And then, yung paborito nating subject nung elementary, di ba? Yung recess. Yung chibugan, di ba? So, yung sa amin, yung kalakaran namin doon is kapag nagre-recess kami, we don't go out, no? Of the school to buy food kasi yung school namin sobrang layo from the nearest, say, sari-sari store and whatnot. So, ang ginawa ng mga teachers is merong kami tinatawag na tray. So, sa tray na to, merong mga food items, no? So, say, mga chichirya, mga tinapay, nilagang saging, ganyan. At kung ano-ano pa. So, madaming food na doon. Doon na lang kami bumibili ng pagkain. And then, yung system pa dito is per row yung pipila. Tapos, rotational siya. So, kung Monday, row 1 yung nauna. Tuesday, row 2 naman yung mauna. And then, so on and so forth. So, meron talagang chance na kung kayo yung huling row na pumila, ubos na yung laman ng tray. Or at least yung mga masasarap is nakuha na nakakalungkot, diba? Tapos yung mga nagtitinda dito, madalas is yung mga secretary and treasurer, diba? Merong mga purpose sa amin yung mga classroom officials talaga. Tapos, parang panulak namin doon lagi is yung ice candy. Yung ice candy na to, yung supplier is isa sa mga grade 4, hindi. Isa sa mga grade 2 na teacher, no? And then gagawa sila ng ice candy tapos so merong mga 12 packs of ice candy nun. 1 for each grade level or 2 pala kasi 2 sections kaya equivalent ng 12. Tapos yun yung panulak namin. Kung may baon ng tubig or juice, pwede rin naman. Pero yun, ice candy. Tapos meron din pupunta sa school namin para maglako, no? Ng mga tinitindi niyang like lugaw, spaghetti, nilupak, ano pa ba? Sopas, ganyan. Tapos naka-plastic sila. Tapos tig 2 pesos or 3 pesos lang ata to kasi sobrang konti lang laman ng mga plastic. Parang enough lang talaga para matawid yung gutom ng mga bata. And then dumarating siya most of the time paghapon, ganyan. So cool din yun. Parang I think sister siya nung isa sa mga grade 6 teachers kaya meron siyang pass to roam around and maglako ng pagkain. And then okay din naman kasi kung sawa ka na sa chichirya tsaka dun sa tinapay nung tray, pwede mo na lang siyang antayin tapos bili ka ng real food sa kanya, which is most of the time yun yung ginagawa ko. That's what I do. And then around grade 6 ata to, pinagtanim kami ng munggo as part of our home economics subject, no? So, pinagbungkal kami ng lupa, ganyan. Tapos, nagtanim kami ng mga munggo. Or, that time, toge na sila. Kasi, para makatanim ka ng munggo, kailangan mo munang ibabad yung munggo. Tapos, hanggang lumabas yung sprouts. So, toge na sila, di ba? Tapos, yung mga toge na yun yung ilalagay mo sa lupa para lumaki. So, yun. Na-add ko lang siya dito kasi one of the most unforgettable moments yun. Nag-start around grade 5 hanggang grade 6 is ginagawa namin playground yung school grounds namin. So, say the end of the school period around 3, diba? Around 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. let's say. Babalik kami ng school around 4 p.m. para maglaro. About tagu-taguan, touch ball, at kung ano-ano pa. So mind you, yung school nun is sarado na. So kailangan namin mag-over the backod para makapaglaro sa loob ng school. And then for some reason, lahat ng elementary schools, no, is sinasabing dating sementeryo. Diba? What are the chances? Kaya ang daming mga ghost stories, ganyan, sa loob ng schools, etc. Kung ano-anong klaseng mga kwento yan na as a kid, paniniwalaan mo. Diba? Meron pang nangyari sa amin na the night before the graduation, diba? So, mag-graduate na kami ng grade 6. So, since yung school namin is mostly buhangin, no? Buhangin yung hindi masyadong mag-grass. So, malikabok, tama. So, we were asked to go at night, yung buong klase namin, para magdilig. Para diligan yung school grounds para come graduation day ng umaga is hindi masyado malikabok. Made sense, diba? So, nagdidilig kami ng gabi. So, this is around 8 p.m. I guess. So, hindi 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Hindi naman masyadong late. Kasi mga bata lang kami, diba? So, nagdidilig kami ganyan. And then, there was this story, no? Nasabi, meron daw isang teacher dati sa school namin. For some reason, namatay siya. And hindi ko na rin maalala kung namatay siya dahil sa suicide, ganyan. Or kung namatay man siya sa school grounds and whatever. So, hindi ko na sure yun. Basta may teacher na namatay siya. Tapos, yung kwento daw, kapag daw sinabi mo yung pangalan niya sa school grounds, is magpapakita siya sa'yo. And I actually forgot his name. Ang alam ko lang is lalaki siya. Pero, being me, no? Masyadong playful, masyadong makulit. Habang nag-iigib kami, bigla namin siya napag-usapan. Uy, naalala niyo yung kwentong ganito, ganyan. So nga. Tapos sabi, walang tatawag ng pangalan niya, ganun. Tapos ang ginawa ko, tinawag ko yung pangalan niya. Tapos meron pang konting delay nung sinabi ko yung pangalan niya. Nagtinginan muna kami. Tapos, nung na-realize nila yung ginawa ko, takbuhan kami. And again, nag-go over the backod lang kami dito, diba? So, sobrang panic namin na kasama na ako, syempre. Di ko alam kung bakit ko ginawa yan, pero yeah, sobrang epic. I think naiwan pa nga namin na kasi naka-on yung gripo. So, at least nadilig yung buong school, diba? Pero pagbalik namin doon, may nag-turn off na nung gripo. Siguro yung yung multo. Astig. Ayun. And then there is this one thing na nangyari sa school namin is merong mga Japanese people, no, na nag-reach out or nag-conduct ng reach out program sa school namin. So, they stayed for a couple of weeks. Di naman stay na dun sila natutulog pero lagi silang bumabalik. And then they gave us a lot of things like books. Books pa? May books pa? Hindi ko sure kung may books pero definitely merong balls. Like volleyball, basketball. And then mga flutes. Kasi tinuruan nila kami mag-flute. Diba? Social. Mga tambourine. And kung ano-ano pa. Alam ko yung first day nila, yung binigay nila sa amin is ballpen, tsaka toothbrush ata. Mga ganon. Basta sobrang dami. And the teachers didn't bother explaining bakit sila andon, anong point nila doon, and whatnot. They might have, pero hindi ko maalala kung ginawa nila yon. Basta alam namin, may mga Japanese people dito na magiging ka-close namin. Naaalagaan kami, ganon. Now, for each Japanese person, may ma-assign sa kanilang 3 estudyante. Na? So, sa akin, noon yung naging Japanese person ko is Amy-chan. So, she's a girl. And then, na-assign sa kanya is 3 boys. Ako, si Russell, tsaka si Aaron. So, kami 3 yung na-assign sa kanya. And then, before silang umalis, nagpa-program pa, no? Nagka-event na parang showcasing their talents, tsaka showcasing our appreciation of them and whatnot. So yeah, that is very cool. Ang daming good stuff na nangyari out of that thing, no? Nangyayari kaya din to sa ibang elementary schools? Hindi ko alam, pero at least sa amin nangyari. And for most of the people, no, yung high school nila yung pinaka-memorable. So kung papiliin kung elementary, high school, or college, ano yung pinaka nag-enjoy sila? Tama. And most people would say high school. For me, it's actually the elementary days yung pinaka na-enjoy ko. Partly because yung mga kaklase ko nga is parang naging childhood friends ko talaga. And then, having this school sa ano lang namin, sa mismong baryo lang namin. Meaning, yung mga nandoon is most likely mga kalaro mo lang din. So parang naglalaro ka lang habang nag-aaral, which is more enjoyable kasi magkakakilala lang kayong lahat. Nung third year high school ako, pinagawan kami ng project nung Filipino teacher namin sa subject ng Filipino. And then sabi niya, gawa daw kami ng presentation discussing our elementary days, parang ganun. So what I did is gumawa ko ng presentation pero sa style ni Bob Ong, yung parang nakakabasa na pala ako. So ginayahan ko yun yung kung paano niya kinuwento or yung style niya dun sa aba. Ganun ko rin sinulat yung experience ko. So parang from grade 1 to grade 6 meron ako mga series of kwento. And I've actually published it sa social media account ko. So, andun yun yung elementary chronicles ko. Lalang kung interesado lang kayo. Pero yeah, those are fun. And one of the evidences that I really enjoyed my elementary days. Ayun. So with that, let's go to our 3-in-1 questions. Number 1, anong pangalan ng elementary school nyo sa barangay or sa village nyo? Number 2, ano yung mga kwentong kababalaghan nyo sa school nyo? And the third one, ano yung best moments or yung unforgettable moments mo during your elementary days? Siya nawa, the coffee break is over. Catch you in the next one. Cheers!